Hi, and welcome to Sunday with Mike. On today's show, we're going to cover your check processing policy, wedding wire and the knot strike again, who pays for music royalties, and a secret method for contacting a business when you have an issue. Grab yourself some coffee and join me. I'll be right back. Do you accept checks? Well, I do, and recently I needed to review my check processing policy. Here's what happened. I did a last-minute lighting event for a Sweet 16 party, and I was paid with a check. I didn't run to the bank for a week, and the next thing I knew, the check was returned. I expected it to be for the usual NSF that we've all run into occasionally, the insufficient funds, but this one was different. It was returned because the account was, quote, frozen, end quote. What's frozen? I had no idea, so I went digging to see exactly what this meant. As I researched the topic a little more, I found out that it's done by either the bank or the government. And primarily the reason is the IRS has frozen the account for tax issues. So now what? So then I contact the client, and they assured me that they would show up and take care of this within the next 5 days. Well, the 5 days came and went, and no client. So then I went to my local government's website, and I looked up the district attorney's office's webpage. And as I'm reading the information about collecting for bad debts, bad checks, I'm reading on their page that they will not prosecute the writer of such checks. So now I'm really confused. I have a bad check that I took in good faith, and my local district attorney will not go after this person because it's frozen, not NSF. So no, I'm on my own on this one. So now that means that I have to spend money and go after this client in a civil lawsuit and spend money with an attorney to try to collect this bad debt. Well, I contacted the client again, and they weren't happy about me calling them again, but assured me that they would make it good. Fast forward a few more days, and sure enough, I got lucky, and they came in and brought me cash in exchange for the check. Whew, I dodged a bullet on that one. But I started doing more research, and I found out that our local DA will not go after a bad check if you've held the check for the client. So I'm like, are you kidding me? So if you hold a check 10 days or longer in my parish, we don't call them counties here. We're in Louisiana, so it's parishes. But if you hold a check for longer than 10 days, it could be considered a held check and may be excluded from collection by the district attorney's office. I strongly advise you to check into this process for your local jurisdiction. Don't go by mine, and make sure that you know what you can and cannot do when it comes to holding a check. I had no idea that by trying to help a client and hold a check for a week that I could be in trouble later if that check bounces.
DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
Well, our friends over at Wedding Wire and the Knot have decided that you are not qualified or capable of selling your own services on their website. Say what? No matter if you have paid or you have a free account on either of those services, they have both decided that they can and will rewrite your storefront anytime they want to. This is a serious problem for all of us. For example, we had a paid account on both services, and I don't take kindly to someone rewriting my content, but our company staff, right? Either me or my wife, that's it. Nobody else should be rewriting my stuff. So here's my biggest issue with it. After Wedding Wire decided to rewrite the page, according to them, I was throwing in all kinds of extra stuff with each contract. Needless to say, it would have gotten pretty nasty if I had had a client to try to hold me to that copy that I didn't write or approve. We quickly rewrote the page and got everything straightened out before anybody caught it. We dodged a bullet, but to add insult to injury, as soon as we hit the save button, we get a pop-up message saying, "Hey, those changes have to be approved by Wedding Wire." I'm not sure where this craziness came from. Normally, an ad advertiser has the right to accept or reject your ad, but they do not have the right to wake up one morning and decide all by themselves that they are just going to rewrite your text. Do not stand for this, and if it happens to you, be sure to give them a strong piece of your mind. This practice must stop. In the last few days, we received a similar notice from the Knot. Totally nuts that these people have decided that they can do anything they want to your text. This is not the way this is supposed to work. Again, we all need to go through our copy with a fine-tooth comb to make sure that you agree with whatever they wrote. Don't get me wrong. We're not all pros when it comes to writing text on our storefronts. But why can't they send you an email with quote-unquote suggested improvements to your storefront wording? Then you can take the best of both worlds, their professional writer's advice and your own experience to make it the best that it can be, but it still represents your business. Good luck, and keep an eye on these two for a while until they outgrow this current phase that they're in. So welcome back. So here's a question for you. Who pays for the royalties for you to legally play music in public in the United States? Notice I said United States. So for all of you that are seeing this show outside of the country, which a lot of you do, thank you for watching the show. Ignore this part because you're not here and this won't apply to you because your own country has its own rules, right? But here in the USA, this question has been asked over and over again in the groups and mostly answered by people who have absolutely no clue what they're talking about. In this segment, we'll share the who, what, where, and when you need to worry about paying for royalties. Enter ASCAP, BMI, and SESAC. These are the three primary companies that are responsible for making sure that bands and artists are getting paid according to the copyright laws within the United States of America. The easiest way to understand this process is just know that anytime a copyright piece of music is used in a commercial or streaming service like Pandora or Spotify, which again is commercial, these artists need to be paid for their work. As a DJ, you are playing copyrighted music, and again, the artists are supposed to be paid. But who is responsible for paying these fees? Well, in short, the venues are. They're supposed to pay the fees. But trust me, most of them are not, and they're clueless about this, and many will try to make you think that since you're playing the music, as the DJ, you're responsible for this, but you're not. The laws are very long and detailed, and I'm not going to try to play lawyer here, but to summarize everything that you're going to read, it basically comes down to the person who will benefit the most from the use of copyrighted material is the person that they tend to make responsible for paying the fees. That means it's the bar owner or the venue. Or, here's where it might get you, If you're the promoter of a special event or a concert, you, as the DJ and the promoter, may have to pay the fee. But if you're a DJ only and someone else is promoting the event, it's not you. So I'm going to place a link to all three of these companies down in the description column down below for you. I want you to do yourself a favor and take some time to visit all three websites just to get familiar with the duties and responsibilities and who pays for what. Every once in a while, you'll need to get around a gatekeeper and reach someone a little higher up the chain of command at a company. I'm sure that they are not going to like this becoming public knowledge, but here goes. Go to the link that I have in the description down below called Who Is and enter that link into a web browser. The next thing that you know, you're going to be finding yourself looking at a lot of technical data. And part of that information is administrative and technical contact information. I'm picking on the Target company, you know, the round circle Target, the consumer store. And so if you look at this, now you have a phone number and an email address for those people. They can block this information, but most of the time it's right there waiting for you, just like it is in this case for the Target company. So if you had an issue with a company for any reason using one of your images, or you find out that they're using your registered trademark, or whatever the case may be, it could just be a problem and you can't seem to get it resolved. Trust me on this one, when you start bothering people at the top of the company about your issue, all of a sudden those problems seem to get resolved pretty quickly. So I'm going to ask you to do me a favor and please use this information responsibly. So that's going to be a wrap for today. I hope that you'll share the show with your friends, give me your thoughts down in the comments section, and of course give us a thumbs up. I wanted to also mention that any show, I don't know which one you might run into in the future, but any show that you watch, if you look in the links down below, you'll see the playlist for all of our shows, and you can go back to number 1 and catch up to wherever you are. We're also saving a seat for you in the Sunday with Mike Facebook group. I hope you'll join us, and otherwise, we'll see you next week.